Hello, everyone, and welcome to Minster for the Minster Memorial High School Invitational. I'm Jennifer Beck with Jacob O'Neill on camera, and we are way up top, up above the press box, bringing you this great event on Saturday, the day before Easter. After a brief rain delay, we are getting ready to get started 45 minutes actually later than planned, so a little more than a brief rain delay, and we will start with Event 1, and it will be the women's 4x800 meter relay. The record for this event was set back in 2003 with a time of 9:31. There's the whistle, and we will get started in just a moment here. In lane 1, we have 1, 2, and 3. You've got Minster, Fort Loramie, and Versailles. Next, group of three is West Liberty, New Bremen, and St. Henry. Then we have Russia, Spencerville, and South Adams. And finally, on the outer side, Lehman Catholic and Covington. Our meet is sponsored today, our broadcast of our meet, rather, is sponsored by Wabash Mutual Telephone. Wabash Mutual Telephone, proud supporter of Mercer County Athletics. And they are off and running. Again, this is the girls' 4x800 meter relay. Running for Minster, it's Annie Hemmelgarn. For Fort Loramie, we have Harley Eilerman. Running for Versailles, Corinne Goubeau. West Liberty, Ariana Weaver. New Bremen's first runner is Mia Hirschfeld. St. Henry, Catherine Post is your leadoff runner. For Russia, it's Macy Armstrong. Spencerville has Megan Miller. South Adams leads off with Adeline Watson. Lehman Catholic's first runner is Ava Reinecke. Covington has Eliza Long. And then we have Marion Local, which we don't have the information for. And as they get their way around that first curve into this straightaway, that is Minster with your lead right now, Annie Hemmelgarn. Minster really having a powerhouse season so far this year. The ladies won the Versailles meet invite. They also won the Anna invite. And currently they are leading this first event. This is the women's 4x800 meter relay. A pack of 5 right there at the top area. Of course, if you have been with us for previous seasons, you know that we take track and field all the way unto state. As I'm sitting there watching Minster right there in the lead, I can't help but think about previous years when we have seen that orange jersey so many times running around the track in the 4x8 at state, which this year will be back at Ohio State at Jesse O. Memorial Stadium. Last year it was at the University of Dayton because the track was being resurfaced, but this year state track will be back there at Jesse O. at Ohio State. Minster still leading here in this first lap of the 4x8, but being challenged. Take a look. Got to tell you, one of the things I just love about covering track down here in what I love to call Mac Country is the quality of runners that you see here on this track. And there's that quality right there. Minster picking up the lead just a tad bit and will lead off there in first place. Fort Loramie currently in second place. And I believe that is New Bremen. Looked like they were in third, now is currently in fourth. Second runner is now on the track. We've got Joanna Top for Minster, Camille Borchers for Fort Loramie, Katie Litton for Versailles, Gwen McCullough for West Liberty, Allison Pape running for New Bremen, Claire Moeller for St. Henry, Annabelle Armstrong running for Russia, Annalie Hood for Spencerville, Alina Beerbaum for South Adams, Meg Schmiesing running for Lehman Catholic, Bella Welch for Covington, and again, Marion Local. We do not have that information, but we know we got a Marion Local runner out there on the track as well. As is typical for the 4x8, we're starting to see a lot of spread here, a lot of distance. Any of you who are watching this broadcast and are middle distance runners, you know what grit is needed to run in the 800. This race is not a sprint, but it's definitely not a slow race. These ladies are putting everything they have right in there, and you can see a challenge here for this lead, but Minster doing what Minster does so well and still holding off. 3:35 is the time that we had for that first runner to make it halfway through the second leg of this 4x800 meter relay. Minster still leading right there on their home track. Again, we want to remind you that our title sponsor is Wabash Mutual Telephone. Wabash, proud supporter of Mercer County Athletics. Here are the teams that are present at this Invitational today. We have Crestview, Covington, Fort Loramie, Houston, Lehman Catholic, Marion Local, Minster, New Bremen, New Knoxville, Russia, South Adams High School, which is located in Berne, Spencerville, St. Henry, Versailles, and West Liberty Salem. Second runners hitting that last corner for their final part of their leg, and you are watching Minster's runner continue to show great strength, long strides, which is exactly what you want to see in this 800. Both runners here, first and second place, great strides there, and Minster hands off in third place to that third runner. 450 was the time at that handoff. Third runners in this event are the following, according to the information that I have. Now, keep in mind that sometimes the orders will change and they'll be different than what we have on the paper, but here's what we have. Your leader right now, Maria Niekamp from Minster. The third runner for Fort Loramie is Lauren Moore. From Versailles, the third runner is Miriam Garrett. West Liberty Salem is running Mariska Smith in the third position. Jane Rindler from New Bremen is your third runner for that relay team. For St. Henry, it's Alana Mesher. Russia's third runner is also a freshman, Sophie York. From Spencerville, Caitlin Braun is running in the third spot. Kensley Giels from South Adams. Julia Gudorf from Lehman Catholic. Covington has Lucy Wellborn, and we have Marion Local running as well. Great strength continuing with Minster. Those of you at home who've heard me talk before, you may know that I was a 400 and 800 runner back in high school and college, so these are races that are near and dear to my heart, even though they are just so incredibly tough. So it's amazing to see both of these runners there, Minster and Fort Loramie, both with great strength, but you can just see the power right there in the leader, Minster, making her way around the curve, heading back toward the straightaway, and just kind of watch and see what she does with her stride and see how she uses that back straightaway to maybe get a little bit, we're not going to say a breather, but you can see right there how she actually picked up the length of the stride just a tad bit and is now increasing the lead as well a tiny bit. Both runners, good strength. Would love to see their splits to see what they are running on this race. Weather here, it is windy. It is not hot. The storms that came through earlier this morning seemed to drop the temperature just a little bit. It's very, I would say, other than the wind, it's very pleasant. We don't have any rain right now. We did have thunder and lightning earlier today, which was the reason why we had to have such a delay to get this event started. All right, getting ready to hand off to our anchors. A little bit of head bobbling there by Minster, because that just shows you how much work these ladies put in to this race. Claire Bowman is what I have listed as the anchor for Minster. Wow, take a look at how she has taken off. Look at those neon track shoes. I like those spikes. And she's got a little bit of a sprint mode there going. It's going to be interesting to see how long she keeps that pace up as she now has just moved the lead even more. There is even more distance now there with Minster with a strong lead. I said Claire Bowman is who we have listed as our anchor for Minster. Miley Chateau for Fort Loramie. Ava Rissmiller is listed to anchor for Versailles. Addie Wallen for West Liberty. New Bremen has Riley Suchland as their anchor. Maya Kanapke for St. Henry. Faith York is the anchor for Russia. Clara Goki for Spencerville, Chloe Schmidt for South Adams, Anna Minishi of Lehman Catholic, and Ramsey Vanderhorst is the anchor for Covington, and we also have Marion Local running in this race. Well, I made a comment. I wondered how long she was going to keep that pace going, and she really is continuing. I'm talking about Minster right here. You're seeing she is continuing to keep up with that speed, and as you can see here, is also lapping several of the teams. We've got teams here that are still waiting to get their fourth runner on the track, and we've got Minster powering her way through into the second lap. Less than a lap to go yet in this race. Like I said earlier, Minster ladies starting out their season super strong, wins everywhere they go. They won the Versailles invite. They won the Anna invite. They've been winning their tri-meets. Now we're watching that Minster runner slow down just Well, I was going to say maybe she slowed down for about 3 more steps, but this is the spot where you're going to see this runner put in everything that she has left. I'm not sure how much you can see Fort Loramie trying to do the same thing there, but Minster just really holding on here. Going to have 2 runners left to lap before she makes her way around to this final. 9:30 is the record from 2003. Not going to break that now, but Minster going to have a strong time regardless. Very little competition if you take a look at how things are. 9:40, just a hair over 9:40. First place right there. 9:40.90. Minster, the home team, wins the 4x8. Fort Loramie comes in second with a 9:46.55. Event number 2, it's the men's 4x800 meter relay. These are our teams and their lanes. Down there in lane 1, we've got West Liberty and Minster. Next, there's Versailles. Then in lane 3, Marion Local and Spencerville. Over on the next lane, it's New Bremen, then Crestview and St. Henry, South Adams and Fort Loramie, Sidney Lehman Catholic, New Knoxville, and Covington. So these are the runners that we have leading off in this men's 4x800 meter relay. And for West Liberty, it's Caleb Larson. For Minster, it's Nick Pringer. Versailles has Tony Moorman. Marion Local does not have their people in there, but we've got a runner over there in blue and white. Spencerville is Mitchell Adams. New Bremen has Sam Bernhold. Crestview, Hudson Parrot. St. Henry has Zach Heath. South Adams has Caden Neuenschwander. Fort Loramie with Ethan Kester. Lehman Catholic is running Brian Bowman. New Knoxville, Noah Holland. And Covington has Drake Engel. Got a pack there as they make their way around this 4th corner and come down to the straightaway. But in the straightaway, we're now seeing a little bit of breaking it out a little bit. We got one team there in the lead and then a nice pack that's behind here. Again, this is the boys 4x800 meter relay. The record was from 2017. That was Fort Loramie's, and the time was set back in 2017, and Fort Loramie was the team that set the record. That was 8:09.25. Field events are still going on. You might have been able to see some of the pole vault back there on that second curve. We did have to have quite the delay in our meet today because of thunderstorms that came through the area early this morning. We are watching, this meet is happening the day before Easter. We know that you are not actually watching until a little bit later, but day before Easter, so if you think back, you might be able to think about the weather that came through your region on that Saturday morning. Meet was supposed to start at 10, started at 10:45, and as it is happening right now, we still have a little bit of sprinkles coming on and a little bit of a possible lead change very close. Look at New Bremen. Was almost handing off in first place, but not quite got there. Look at the strength of these runners here as they make their way around the track. For West Liberty, we have Brian Goulet. For Minster, the runner is Tyler Bergman. For Versailles, Zachary Rahm. Marion Local, also with a team of runners. We do not have their information. Spencerville has A.J. Boop as the second runner. Jacob Kelly running for New Bremen. Derek Young for Crestview. Peter Jansen is running for St. Henry. Easton Odell is the runner for South Adams. Adam Zurcher for Fort Loramie. Michael Rowley for Lehman Catholic. Ty Koenig is the runner for New Knoxville. And Caleb Hembry is running for Covington. Second runners making their way here almost halfway through their part of this race. We are at Minster for the Minster Memorial High School Invitational. I just want to take a moment to share with you some things about the Minster field. If you ever come here, they just got a brand new press box, brand new stadium seats and everything here. Very nice, really nice. And one of the things that they also included when they made those upgrades is a great memorial to this to several people who lost their lives many years ago. The Minster Memorial Field was dedicated to the community on September 19th, 1976, in memory of 8 Minster High School students who tragically lost their lives on March 7th, 1976. The stars on the medals awarded to today's athlete signify those 8 lives. Their spirit is always remembered for hard work, dedication, and pride. And you can see pictures of those individuals here at the stadium. As I've been reading that, you can see Minster took over the lead. So we've got home team taking advantage of their home track right now and leading off right now in first place with that 3rd runner. Just to share a little bit more with what I was telling you with the Minster Memorial Field and the dedication, it's memory of Joy Brandaway, Anthony Kemper, Michael Kemper, Rebecca Moorman, Barbara Olding, Lester Ranley, Kenneth Summer, and Scott Westerheide. And if you do get here to Minster, some of you who are watching, I know you've been to Minster many times, really encourage you to take the time to read the information on the board and take a look at the pictures that are here at this stadium. All right, Minster got the lead right now. Here's who we have as our 3rd runners. The Minster runner is Carter Dirksen for the 3rd runner. But here's the list of everybody. West Liberty Salem has Adley Knox running. Minster again, Carter Dirksen. Versailles has Drew Meyer. Marion Local with a runner as well. Spencerville with Carson Van Gorder. New Bremen has Simon Schroyer. Crestview's running Scott Payton. St. Henry has Michael Kunkler. South Adams, Gavin Litwiller. Fort Loramie's 3rd runner is Xavier Moore. Lehman Catholic has Thaddeus Basie. New Knoxville's running Will Lammers, and Covington with Landon Reynolds. 5:22 is where we are on the clock right now at this point in the 4x800. After this, we will have the women's 100-meter hurdles, the men's 100-meter hurdles, the women's 100-meter dash, and the men's 100-meter dash. Here are a few results for you from the women's 4x800 relay. In first place, it was Minster with a time of 9:40.90. Second place was Fort Loramie with a time of 9:46.55. In third place was Versailles with a 10:09.29. West Liberty Salem came in 4th with 10:33.97. And New Bremen finished in 5th with a time of 10:45.13. Oh, look at this. Coming down to the wire, and neither of these runners are ready to give up. This is the grit moment of the 800. Minster just with a tiny bit of a lead, but we're going to have to see what happens here in this last leg of this race. All right, I'm going to tell you who's running as you are watching those runners run. Oh, Minster increasing their lead. That would be Will Kanapke with a plan, but needs to stay holding because is going to be challenged right there. You can see that straight away. One's running a little faster than the other. Let's see what happens at that halfway mark right there. You can see Kanapke just picked it up. That's the point, to pick things up, but of course he's got another lap to go after this and is going to have to hold on to get to the end. So who do we have running? I'm just going to give you the whole list all the way down as you watch this race. Quentin Rudolph is running for West Liberty Salem. Will Kanapke for Minster. Marcus Briscoe is running for Versailles. Marion Local also with a runner. Noah Stewart running for Spencerville. Jet Jellison running for New Bremen. Brenton Rodriguez for Crestview. Michael Rindler for St. Henry. Carson Laux running for South Adams. Sean Bornhorst running for Fort Loramie. Alex Goubeau for Lehman Catholic. Joel Holland running for New Knoxville. And Kaylor Eastman for Covington. Lead change happened right there. As I was reading all of those names, you were watching it at home, and this is where we see who has it at the end. I've talked a lot about this 4x8. To get 4 runners who can each run a strong 800 is such a solid thing for any team, because if you're a track parent, how many of your kids want to run the 800, really? How many of them come home and they're excited about running the 800? I mean, it is a speed, but it is a grit, and you see that speed and grit coming in at the air. Look at his face. You can see his head bobbing just a tiny, tiny bit because he is making to the end. 8:16 was the time for your top team. Watching the second place come in, so that's West Liberty Salem winning it with an 8:16.71. Coming through at that, just the anchor did it. 8:20.70 for Minster, finished in second place. And we're still waiting to see. The third place finisher was Versailles with an 8:31.21. Today's Track Invitational is presented by Charles River in Spencerville, proud to support area athletes and students. Visit criver.com for more information. We're now moving into the next event, event number 3, the women's 100-meter hurdles. This is heat 2 of 3. In lane 1, we'll have Ava Mowry of Houston. Lane 2, Grayson Beasley of Versailles. Lane 3, Grace Flutterjohn of Spencerville. Lane 4, Anna Lehman, South Adams. Lane 5, Cami Schaefer of Russia. Lane 6, Claire Winner, Marion Local. Lane 7, Maura Dubois, Covington. And lane 8, Nora Grillat of Lehman Catholic. The record was set back in 2022 by Nalea Burden of Spencerville, and she ran a 15.12 for her time. Winds are picking up just a bit. Of course, where Jacob and I are, we are way up top, high above the press box, so we're going to feel the wind at the most. Down there on the court, you can tell I've just finished in basketball season, folks. Down there on the track, still windy, but not quite as much wind as we have. No rain right now after a lot of rain earlier today. We are grateful that we have dry conditions at the moment. Well, drying, I should say. Things are still wet from the water, but we are off and running. This is heat 2 of 3. Flutterjohn from Spencerville was over that first hurdle first, but Lehman from South Adams there in lane 4 has the slight lead at the moment. 2 hurdles left to go, and this is heat 2 of 3. Anna Lehman of South Adams, she is just a freshman, and she runs a 17.28. Flutterjohn second in this heat with a 17.39. Heat 3 of 3 in the girls' 100-meter hurdles. Lane 1, Carly Busher of St. Henry. Lane 2, Sophia Whirling of Minster. Lane 3, Molly Brame of Minster. Lane 4, Grace Moeller, Marion Local. Lane 5, Ariel Heitkamp, Fort Loramie. Lane 6, Capri Bixler of South Adams. Lane 7, Audrey Rassman of Fort Loramie. And Lane 8, Hattie Jacobs of West Liberty. Again, the record is from 2022. Nalea Burden of Spencerville with a time of 15:12. Grace Moeller of Marion Local is coming in with a seat time of 14.42. And it's Moeller who is the first one over the hurdles and continues to be the first one over the hurdles, but being challenged by Heitkamp of Fort Loramie. Now it's Heitkamp who's got the lead, and it's Heitkamp who gets the win. And I think she may have gotten a new record. Let's take a look. Yes, it is a 14.90 for Ariel Heitkamp from Fort Loramie. Moeller from Marion Local with a time of 15.16, and Brame from Minster gets third with a time of 15.99. Brand new meet record for Ariel Heitkamp from Fort Loramie. Event 4, it's the men's 110-meter hurdles. This is heat 2 of 3. In lane 1, Camden Aarons of Versailles. Lane 2, Max Ranley of Marion Local. Lane 3, Adam Winner of Marion Local. Lane 4, Max Kanapke of Minster. Lane 5, Tristan Eyre of South Adams. Lane 6, Taryn Bradley of West Liberty. Lane 7, Jack Bloomstock of Covington. And Lane 8, Brock Schum of New Bremen. Watch and see who's over that first hurdle first, and that's an orange-white jersey with a big M on the front, and that would be Minster in lane 4. This is heat 2 of 3. Max Kanapke of Minster. Watch him race his way to the final. He wins this heat with a time of 15.96. You're going to want to watch the times because these are not timed finals. You can win regardless of what heat you're in. You can, you can place. So 15.96 is the time, and if he finishes in that top 8, then he does win points for his team there. 15.96 is the time for Max Kanapke. Time now for Heat 3 of 3 in the men's 110-meter hurdles. In Lane 1, it's Max Maurer of Fort Loramie. Lane 2, Gideon Beasley of Versailles. Lane 3, Jay Schroeder of New Knoxville. Lane 4, Dalen Garrett of Covington. Lane 5, Jackson Steiner of West Liberty. Lane 6, Elijah Heitkamp of Fort Loramie. Lane 7, Carson Harrod of St. Henry. And Lane 8, Bo Dwenger of Minster. 5 seniors are running in this heat. 1 underclassman, 1 sophomore, 5 seniors, 1 sophomore, and 2 juniors. Right there, right out of the gate, in lane 5, that is Steiner of West Liberty. Took off in the lead from the beginning, being challenged right there next to him in Covington, but it's going to be lane 5 will get the win. Let's take a look and see what his time was. 14.78 is the winning time for West Liberty Salem's Jackson Steiner. Second place is Garrett from Covington with a 14.91, and third place, Harrod from St. Henry, 15.06. Our next event is going to be the women's 100-meter dash. But first, we want to let you know that today's track invitational is presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Located in Wapak, Delphus, and St. Mary's, locally owned and operated, Lee's is not just famous for chicken, they're famous for catering, too. This is Heat 3 of 4 in the women's 100-meter dash. And these are who we have in the lanes. I'll let you know that it has started to rain again. We had quite a bit of rain during the men's hurdles. It's lessened up a little bit, but we've still got drops coming down right now. Wind has picked up just a tad bit as well. In Heat 3 of 4 in the women's 100-meter dash. In lane 1, it's Jana Luthman of Versailles. Lane 2, Delaney Balliet of Crestview. Lane 3, Aaliyah Pullman of Marion Local. Lane 4, Izzy Meyer of Fort Loramie. Lane 5, Lillian Strayer of Spencerville. Lane 6, Tori Douthwaite of West Liberty. Lane 7, Ashlyn Porter of Versailles. And Lane 8, Adriana Creamer of Minster. And I'm afraid that I may have mispronounced a few of those names. We are still early in the season, and I always want to make sure I get the names correctly read. So if I am not pronouncing your child's name correctly or your teammate, please contact me at jbeck@wtlw.com. Let me know so that I can make sure to say these names correctly all the way through state track. This is Heat 3 of 4 in the girls' 100-meter dash. Got to listen closely. Minster is now using that newer style of gun. Was introduced last year at several meets. You may have noticed it's no longer the gun. It's now just a sound that's kicking things off. Kicking off Heat 3 of 4. And take a look at your runner in lane 6. But now going to be at the end. That was lane 3. Your Heat 3 winner is Pullman from Marion Local with a time of 13:09. We've got Heat 4 of 4 coming up next, and as we are waiting to get that started, I'm going to read off some adult results from the women's 100-meter hurdles. Finishing in 5th place from South Adams High School, Capri Bixler, 16:52. Finishing in 4th place from St. Henry, time of 16:01, Carly Busher. Your 3rd place finisher from Minster with a time of 15.59, Molly Brame. Runner-up in the women's 100 hurdles, Grace Moeller from Marion Local, 15.16, and your winner from Fort Loramie, Ariel Heitkamp, with a time of 14.90. All right, Heat 4 of 4 in this 100-meter dash, and here's who we have in the lanes. In lane 1, it's Molly Brame of Minster. Lane 2, Autumn Ritter of Houston. Lane 3, Chloe Griffith of West Liberty. Lane 4, Audra McMichael of Spencerville. Lane 5, Emmy Ray of Lehman Catholic. Lane 6, Morgan Balmer of St. Henry. Lane 7, Sam Lauber of St. Henry. Lane 8, Grace Moeller of Marion Local. The record is 12:21. I'm not sure when that was set, but that is the record. This is heat 4 of 4. Really tight seed times coming in here. Lanes 4, 5, 3, and 6, all very close. But it is lane 4. It's Audra McMichael from Spencerville. She gets it done. She's the winner of this race with a time of 12.29. McMichael from Spencerville. Second place goes to Ritter from Houston with a 12:48. And third place, Griffith from West Liberty Salem. Moving next to event number 6, it's the men's 100-meter dash. This is going to be heat 3 of 4. And as they are getting in the blocks, we'll just quickly give you some results from way back earlier, not that far earlier actually, in the men's 4x8 relay. In 5th place, the finishing relay team was Marion Local with a time of 8:35.71. In 4th place, New Bremen, 8:32.44. In 3rd place, Versailles, 8:31.21. 2nd place, Minster with a time of 8:20.70. And your winners from West Liberty Salem, 8:16.71. All right, here we go. Heat 3 up 4 in the boys 100-meter dash. In lane 1, William Patterson of South Adams. Lane 2, Tyler Barga of Versailles. Lane 3, Connor Gibson of Versailles. Lane 4, Philip McMacken of Covington. Lane 5, Zach Zerby of Spencerville. Lane 6, Evan O'Leary of Lehman Catholic. Lane 7, Trenton Hardings of Houston. And Lane 8, Grady Smith of Spencerville. Also just want to say a quick shout out to the wonderful young lady. I got a fabulous 6th grade running girl who is making her way up to the top of the press box multiple times in the rain and the crazy weather to bring the results up. Minster has just been fabulous. They've hosted us so well so far. Really grateful for the hospitality that we're getting from all of the people running this meet here in Minster. Lane 5 and lane 3, but it is lane 3 getting ahead of lane 5, and that would be Connor Gibson of Versailles. He finishes in first place in this heat with a time of 11.10. This is heat 3 of 4. Moving next to heat 4 of 4 in the men's 100-meter dash. Our meet record set back in 1982 by Ken Gettemuller, a time of 10.7. Here's your runners in heat 4. Lane 1 is Charlie Winter of Minster. Lane 2, Liam Putman of Crestview. Lane 3, Jack Behan of West Liberty. Lane 4, Victor Holscher of Marion Local. Lane 5, Justin Knopf of Marion Local. Lane 6, Drayden Hoffman of Crestview. Lane 7, Chase Bishop of Minster. And Lane 8, Cole Kaiser of St. Henry. This is a tight race. Wow, look at lanes 3, 4, and 5, but 4, that's Holscher. Holscher gets it, almost got some outside smoke in there. Let's take a look and see what we have here as the finishing numbers. Your winner, Victor Holscher, with a time of 10.97. Second place was way out there in lane 8, Kaiser of St. Henry with an 11.06, and then Behan from West Liberty Salem ran an 11.13 in third place. And then your fourth place is probably going to come from the previous heat, because the winner of the previous heat was an 11.14. We'll bring you the results later on in the meet. Title sponsor of the Minster Memorial Track Invite is Wabash Mutual Telephone. Wabash Mutual Telephone, a proud supporter of Mercer County Athletics. This is event number 7, the women's 4x200 meter relay, and this will be heat 2 of 2. And before we call out that and get that started, I just wanted to make a correction from something that I said earlier. I was telling you the unofficial results from the men's 100 meter dash, and I was actually incorrect on a fifth place finish rather, so I just want to quickly let you know. It was Liam Putman of Crestview finishing in 5th, tie with Justin Knopf at 11.22. Jack Bahan of West Liberty Salem in 4th. Connor Gibson of Versailles in 3rd. Cole Kaiser of St. Henry finished in 2nd. And Victor Holscher was your winner at 10.97. First place in the men's 100 meter dash. All right, this is the girls' 4x200 meter relay, and as I said, this is heat 2. Rushi won heat 1 with a time of 1:54.54. And here's who we have in heat 2. Lane 1, New Bremen, April Baker. Lane 2, Versailles, Ashlyn Porter. Lane 3, St. Henry, Sam Lauber. Lane 4, Fort Loramie, Izzy Meyer. Lane 5, Minster, Carrie Heckman. Lane 6, Spencerville, Lillian Strayer. Lane 7, West Liberty, Hattie Jacobs. And Lane 8, Crestview, Grayley Grossi. I mentioned it earlier. You may have noticed, depending on how much you can hear, but the starting gun that they're using this year is that adapted change that we saw phasing in last year. Some meets were using it, some were not. No longer are we having that shotgun start, but rather it's a special sound. I'm not sure what it's like down there on the track because I'm not there. I know up here on top of the press box, it's a little bit harder for us to hear where we are, but certainly hoping that it's not causing any problems. I haven't noticed any problems. Everyone seems to be starting right on time. No issues. Last year there were a few issues was I believe the runners just weren't used to that kind of a sound. But this year I'm really wondering if we're going to see that or hear that rather more than we did last year. All right, I'm not sure how much you could have actually have heard that. There's also a light there on that starting gun. No longer the shotgun sound, at least not here at the Minster Memorial Invitational. But the ladies heard the sound, and they are off and going, getting ready to hand off. And my prediction here is we're going to see Spencerville in lane 6 with that first handoff. They looked like they had made up some of that stagger, but it's close there. Minster, you know, that Minster orange, we always can count on seeing great things from those orange jerseys. Second runners are making their way around the track right now, still in a staggered position, so we can't exactly say who is where, but Spencerville Bearcats in lane 6 without a doubt, running strong. That's Lena Smith getting ready to hand off to Grace Flutterjohn. Watch the handoff. That tells the story, and the story actually is in lane 4 for Loramie's. Third runner is Jenna Hoying. It was Izzy Meyer to Taylor Schmidtmeyer to Jenna Hoying, and she'll be handing off to Ariel Heitkamp. Fort Loramie is in 4. Minster is in 5. Spencerville is in 6. Your top seed time coming in is Fort Loramie with a 1:48.45. The record is Versailles, 1:46.94. That is the meet record. The anchors have the batons, and now we will see the true story of what we have in this race. Lane 4, Fort Loramie, Ariel Heitkamp. Lane 5, Minster's Sophia Dirksen trying to run her down. Lane 6, Audra McMichael of Spencerville moving her team into the second place spot. But it is Fort Loramie to win this race with a 4x2 with a time of 1:47.77. Your second place finishers were Spencerville, 1:49.84. And third place, the home team, Minster, with a time of 1:50.35. Event number 8 is our next event. It's the men's 4x200 meter relay. They are setting up for heat 2 of 2. The winner of heat 1 was Spencerville with a time of 1:36.29. Taking a look at the men's high jump, here are some results for you. Finishing in 5th place, Brennan Potts of Lehman Catholic, jumping 5 foot 10 inches. Finishing in 4th place, Grady Smith of Spencerville, also jumping 5'10". And in 3rd place from Covington, Preston King, who also cleared 5'10". 2nd place finisher from Spencerville, Colton Gribsey, 6 foot. And your winner from New Knoxville, Preston Rutschling, clearing 6 foot 2 inches. All right, here we go. Seat 2 of the boys 4x2. The record just set last year by Marion Local with a time of 1:31.52. And Marion Local, you'll find them in lane 4. Lane 1 is Minster, leading off with Max Kanapke. Lane 2 is Crestview with Braxton Leet. Lane 3, St. Henry, Carson Herod. Lane 4 is Marion Local. Lane 5, Versailles, Eli Dirksen. Lane 6, West Liberty Salem with Troy Bradley. Lane 7, Fort Loramie, Max Maurer. And Lane 8, Jet Jellison is your leadoff from New Bremen. Runners are off and going, keeping that stagger quite pretty even there, with the exception of lane 4, Marion Local, and lane 5, Versailles. Versailles really looks to be picking up their stagger, but Marion Local is the first one to do the handoff here as the second runners are making their way around the track. That's Will Kanapke in lane 1, Hayden Pera in lane 2, Cole Kaiser in lane 3, Marion Local runner in 4, Tyler Barga in 5, Lincoln Henderson in 6, DJ Barhorst in 7, and Jacob Kelly running in lane 8. Looks like a tiny lead change there as Crestview appeared to hand off just ahead, handing off to Liam Putman. But the Marion Local third runner is making up the ground that is needed. Take a look at the work there on the straightaway. Marion Local, such solid team. We watched them at state do amazing things last year, and they just now handed off first as that anchor runner is making his way around the track, getting ready to watch this straightaway. He made a look back. Now, you don't see that a lot, especially in sprinting, but I think I saw him look back 3 times. Take a look at him sticking his tongue out. Marion Local is going to make their way in. The question is, will they re-break their record? The record was 1:31.52 that they set last year. And here is the time that they ran today, 1:31.78. They don't re-break their record, but Marion Local first place in the 4x2 men's. Versailles gets second with a 1:32.71, and St. Henry finishes in third. Event number 9 is the women's 1,600-meter run. We have 27 competitors, and here's who they are. Eliza Long of Covington, Addie Wolin of West Liberty, Claire Bowman of Minster, Joanna Topp of Minster, Lauren Moore of Fort Loramie, Adeline Watson of South Adams, Meg Schmeezing of Lehman Catholic, Jane Rindler of New Bremen, Ava Rissmiller of Versailles, Josie Bruns, Marion Local, Madison Schulte of Russia, Caitlin Braun of Spencerville, Anna Gardner of Crestview, Megan Miller of Spencerville, Catherine Post of St. Henry, Lily Dietrich of Houston, Anna Minetti of Lehman Catholic, Maya Kanapke, St. Henry, Evelyn Peppelman, Fort Loramie, Maya Braun of Versailles, Shaylee Boyle of New Bremen, Isla Leichte of West Liberty, Annabelle Armstrong of Russia, Alexis West of Houston, Lucy Wellborn of Covington, Jetta Merkel of Crestview, and Kendall Wells of Marion Local. 27 ladies right there making their way around the track. Your fastest time coming in is a freshman. Actually, I take that back. Is a senior, Eliza Long of Covington. She comes in with a 5.12, 5:12.24, and that's who you see there leading the pack right now, Eliza Long of Covington. Second place right now, we've got Minster, and third place, Minster. So we've got the 2 Minster ladies, Claire Bowman and Joanna Topp, in second and just third. As you can see, still quite a few clumps. First place is out there, way ahead. Second place is just ahead. And then a huge pack right there, which basically could be battling for that third place position. 4 times around the track. These ladies have already made their way around the track 1 time. Again, 5:12:24 is that time that Eliza Long comes in with, is her seed time, and she is your runner from Covington. I want to remind you that this track broadcast, the Minster Memorial Track Invite, is brought to you by Wabash Mutual Telephone. Wabash Mutual Telephone is a proud supporter of Mercer County Athletics. Long of Covington continues with a solid start to her run, almost finished with 800, the halfway point of this race. Take a look and see where she actually is once we get there. Probably has just about maybe a 50-yard lead already at this point. Looks like our timer is having a little malfunctioning, so we don't exactly know where she is right now. It's stuck on 159.9, which we know is not correct. She's got a strong, strong lead. And then we have one Minster runner in second place, but the other Minster runner has moved down to sixth place. Second half of the race is underway, and here's where we start to see who has that endurance that's going to allow the runners to pick things up. This third lap, still kind of on pace, but the ladies are going to be thinking about the fact that they're getting closer to needing to step things up and to move things into as much of a sprint as you can get in a distance race. Not yet. You're not going to see it yet. Still going to probably see them in the straightaway. Our leadoff runner, very, very far ahead. But relatively, I'm going to say, a lot could happen yet here with this second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth place runners, because they still are relatively close, and we're going to see who's got all that strength at the very end. As we are watching our leader runner and our other runners right now, I just want to take a moment to let you know that TV44 and WOSN are currently in our Spring to Life funding campaign. TV44 and WOSN are nonprofit television stations who rely on the financial support from viewers just like you. Our goal is $50,000 by Mother's Day. We actually aren't even 50% of the way there yet, so anything that you would be willing to do would be great. It would get us one step closer to that $50,000 goal. All donations stay local and allow us to highlight your local athletes just like this, provide great family-friendly programming, television stations that you can absolutely trust, and we are devoted to the community. Donate to the Spring to Life funding campaign by visiting axministries.com/donate or call 419-339-4444. Well, Eliza Long from Covington is barreling her way around the track. Strides have gotten even wider as she gets ready for less than 200 to go. Just a little over 100 is what she has left to run here in this women's 1,600-meter run. And there you go, your first place finisher right there. That's Eliza Long from Covington. Watch the second place runner now from Minster. What a great finish we've got coming in here. I believe that is Claire Bowman, sophomore from Minster. She will finish in second place. Long ran a 5:13.89. Second place, Bowman, 5:29.96. Your third place finisher was from Versailles. Event 10 is the boys' 1,600-meter run. Here are our competitors. 29 young men will be running around the track 4 times. Troy Moorman of Versailles, Samuel Philpott, Rushy, Asher Knox, West Liberty, Trey Gettemeller, Marion Local, Dylan King, West Liberty, Michael Rindler, St. Henry, Jacob Schmidtmeyer, Rushy, Cameron Magato, Versailles, Nick Prenger of Minster, Beck Wilson, Covington, Simon Schroyer, New Bremen, Jack Strasbaugh, Minster, Hudson Perrott, Crestview, Lincoln Smith, Crestview, Tanner Braun, Spencerville, Brian Bowman, Lehman Catholic, Xavier Moore, Fort Loramie, Tyler Schwartz, New Bremen, Deacon Beerbaum, South Adams, Christian Kramer, Marion Local, Will Lammers, New Knoxville, Carson Locks, South Adams, Ethan Kester, Fort Loramie, Thaddeus Basie, Lehman Catholic, Jack Seifring, St. Henry, Liam Rosencrans, Houston, Sam Goki of Spencerville, Landon Reynolds of Covington, and Jude Holland of New Knoxville. Ranges of times are from 4:28.01, that's your fastest seed time, from Versailles' Tony Mormon, to a 5:56.26, Jude Holland of New Knoxville, if I'm looking at everything correctly. Still got quite the pack here, as you can see. They ran the first lap in about 1:09. There's 14 guys there that are still right there in that first pack. Actually, a majority of those guys make that up. It's always interesting to see when you're going to start to see the placements stagger out. And here we are almost halfway into the second lap, and it's still difficult to indicate who's going to be your leader, as we now see one person making his move. Tony Mormon of Versailles is the one that comes in with the fastest time of 4:28.01. The record was set back in 2012 by Sam Prakel. He ran a 4:20. Who is Sam Prakel? Well, he went on to run for Oregon. He ran for the Oregon Ducks. He went on to compete for Adidas, became a professional athlete, originally from Versailles. Sam Prakel set this record back in 2012 with a time of 4:20. Take a look at your leader right now. I believe that's West Liberty Salem's Asher Knox. Looks like we've got two Tigers there leading first and second place, with a Marion local runner right there currently in third place. The guys are halfway done, a little over halfway done, and as we are halfway through this race, I just want to give you another reminder of our awesome sponsors. We could not do these events without our sponsors. And we got a couple sponsors that are just so supportive, and I'm just incredibly grateful of the way that they are with us throughout every season, everything. You've already heard me talk about Wabash Mutual Telephone quite a bit. We also have a presenting sponsor of Charles River. Charles River is located in Spencerville, and they're proud to support area athletes and students. You can learn more by visiting charlesriver.com. And Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. They are also a presenting sponsor of our Minster Memorial Track Invite broadcast. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, located in Walpock, Delphus, and St. Mary's, locally owned and operated. Lee's is not just famous for chicken, they're famous for catering, too. Lead change right now as we're getting ready for the final lap. And this is when it's fun in the 1600. We got 4 guys that know exactly what they want. 5 guys, rather. You look at that. Look at that group right there. And we got a West Liberty Salem runner making his move on the curve. Not exactly the spot where you want to make your move. You got to run extra when you run, or you make a pass on the curve. But maybe he knew this was the time he had to do it. And now that's where you have as your leader 3 guys right there on the straightaway, battling out to finish in first place in this men's 1,600-meter race. So we're into the final 200. Here's the point where they kick up the heels. They widen the strides, make the arms start pumping a little bit harder. They're going to have to get around 2 slower runners, so all of a sudden they got to really make their way out. Oh, very close, but no confrontation there. But look at this. The leader change that happened at the 200 mark is going to make its way all the way to the finish. One quick look back, 4:31-ish is the time. And your winner in the men's 1,600-meter run is from Versailles. It is Tony Mormon, and he ran a 4:31.63. Second place, West Liberty Salem with a 4:32.77 Knox. And Rushie's Philpott gets third with a 4:33.71. Time for more relays. The 4x1 is what we have next. Our title sponsor of the Minster Memorial Track Invite broadcast is Wabash Mutual Telephone. Wabash Mutual Telephone, proud supporter of Mercer County Athletics. We just finished Heat 1 in the girls 4x100-meter relay, and Crestview won Heat 1 with a time of 54.97. Time now for Heat 2. In lane 1, it's Lehman Catholic leading off with Lily Graham. Lane 2, Versailles, Jana Luthman. Lane 3, Fort Loramie, Audrey Rassman. Lane 4, St. Henry, Sam Lauber. Lane 5, Houston, Autumn Ritter. Lane 6, Minster, Carrie Heckman. Lane 7, Marion Local. I apologize, we do not have the information on who the runners are, but Marion Local is in Lane 7. And West Liberty Salem with Tori Douthwaite in Lane 8. Fastest seed time coming in this heat is a 51.50 run in Lane 4 by St. Henry. The record set back in 2010 by Versailles was a time of 51.24. One time around the track, 4 ladies will be running, 4 relay baton handoffs. This is like a splash and dash if you are a swimmer, in and out of the water quick, but we are on the track. Around the track super fast is what we're going to see. You know, we've really only just started our track season. We've got quite a few more meets that we will be bringing to you in the weeks to come. Do you love seeing track on WSN and TV44? Perhaps you have a business that would be interested in sponsoring our track broadcast. It's a great opportunity to get name recognition out. Just give us a call at 419-339-4444. Tell us you're interested in sponsoring some of our track broadcasts, and we'll connect you with the right people and get your name and your business information out to the community.
Set.
Again, our fastest seed time coming in is in Lane 4. That is St. Henry. 51.50 is the time that they have coming into this meet. Lane 5 also running quite well. That's Houston. And as we watch the straightaway, second runner there from St. Henry, Ellie Fullenkamp, making up the stagger, getting ready to hand off, and was the first one to hand off to the next runner of Carly Busher. This is such a fast race, guys. The handoffs and the exchange zones are such key elements to this race to make sure that everything goes smoothly. Take a look at that St. Henry team. Morgan Balmer is the anchor, fighting it out for second place. Looks like it might be Fort Loramie, but your first place is St. Henry. They are your winners in the women's 4x100 meter relay. Their time is 51.52. Second place is Fort Loramie with a time of 51.94, and Versailles gets third place, 52.23. Our next event is event number 12. It's the men's 4x100 meter relay. We just finished heat 1 of 2, and Covington won heat 1 with a time of 46.51. Here's who we have in heat 2. Lane 1, it's Minster. Lane 2, Versailles. Lane 3 is Crestview. Lane 4, West Liberty. Lane 5, St. Henry. Lane 6, Marion Local. Lane 7 is Spencerville. And Lane 8, Fort Loramie. Meet record is 44.26, set back in 2009 by Delphus St. John's. Again, this is the 4x1, just like you saw with the women just a little over a minute ago. We've got 4 runners, 1 lap around the track. How do you know who's winning because they're in a stagger? Well, you want to watch the handoffs to see who has the handoff first. Nice use by Marion Local of that straightaway back there and handed off in a clear first place. They came in with a time of 45.03, not the fastest seed time coming in, but we know what we get from Marion Local men's track. They are good runners. Take a look at West Liberty Salem, though. Over there in lane 4, it's going to be a battle. Marion Local working hard to eke out that win, and they get it. Let's see what their time was in this race. Waiting to see the results come onto our screen. 44.65 seconds. Close to that record of 44.26. 44.65 Marion Local. West Liberty second, Salem second in a 44.81. That's the men's 4x100 meter relay. Today's Minster Memorial Track Invitational broadcast is brought to you by Wabash Mutual Telephone. Wabash Mutual Telephone, proud supporter of Mercer County Athletics. This is Heat 3 of 4 in the women's 400-meter dash. In Lane 1, it's Alina Beerbaum of South Adams. Lane 2 is Janelle Siegel of Fort Loramie. Lane 3, April Baker of New Bremen. Lane 4, Riley Busher of St. Henry. Lane 5, Stella McIntyre of South Adams. Lane 6, Allison Pape of New Bremen. Lane 7, Emmy Ray of Lehman Catholic. And Lane 8, Madison Eilerman of Minster. This is the 400, so there will be one lap around the track. Stay tuned for the next coming races. Of course, we've had the men's 400-meter dash after that. Then the 300-meter hurdles, men and women. 800-meter run. 200-meter dash, and the 3,200-meter run and the 4x4. That's what's left in this meet. This meet started out in a rain delay. We had lightning and thunder just when the field events were starting out. Everybody was taken off the track. Then we had more rain, we had more lightning, more thunder. The 10 a.m. running start got delayed to 10:45. Then we had balmy conditions. Then we had a little bit of rain, a glimpse of sunshine. Now it's overcast. Temperatures are not bad, not hot, not cool, just rather temperate. A little bit of wind, but thankfully it is not raining. We finally have dry weather. Again, this is Heat 3 of 4 in the women's 400-meter dash, one time around the track. You might have noticed that everybody was in blocks there with the exception of one. Lane 5, Stella McIntyre, South Adams, started out in a standing start. In the 400 anymore, you typically do see mainly blocks, but not everybody starts out in blocks because this is a middle distance race. You got sprinters and you've got longer distance runners that will also take on this race. One time around the track, and to be quite honest, it pretty much is a sprint. However, you have your runners who will sometimes do a reverse split, and once they hit that 200 mark, that's when you start to see them take off. In fact, any runner at the 200 mark is going to be pushing as hard as they can for that final half part of the race, but there are runners who will run this with that reverse split, start out a little bit slower, and then move into a faster pace. Well, the faster pace that's making her way down the straightaway, we've got Lehman Catholic and also New Bremen pushing toward the end. This is the hardest part of this race. These ladies are tired. Their bodies are screaming. They got to get across the finish line. And the first person to do that in this heat was Emmy Ray of Lehman Catholic in lane 7. She runs a 1:03.92. What a nice time drop for her. She came in with a seat time of 1:07.04, 1:03.92. Keep track of that time. It just might make it in the top 8 to be a place finisher in this. We've got the 4th heat coming up next. Heat 4 of 4 now in the women's 400-meter dash. The record is a 58.41 seconds set by Katie Evers. Here are your runners in today's race. Clara Goki from Spencerville in lane 1. Harley Eilerman, Fort Loramie in 2. Evie Gast of St. Henry in lane 3. Violet Armstrong from Russia in lane 4. Katie Litton, Versailles in 5. Ava Stallman of Minster in 6. Lillian Strayer from Spencerville in 7. And Gwen McCullough of West Liberty Salem in lane 8.
Set.
1:03.92 was the unofficial winning time in Heat 3. That was Emmy Ray of Lehman Catholic. One lap around the track here in lane 4, and already picking up that, or making up some of that stagger, is Violet Armstrong of Russia in lane 4. She comes in with your fastest seat time of 1:45. I know she would love to see that go below into that 59-second mark or lower. That's always the dream of any runner. Get out of that 3 digits. Let's go down below a minute and then stay there. I'm sure that is something she would love to see. Violet is a sophomore from Russia, but you can't count everybody else out. This is, as I've said in the previous heat, It's that second 200 that tells the story. Who's got the speed, who's got the grit, the endurance, and everything that's needed to make it all the way to the end. And take a look there in lane 4, as I talked about her before, Violet Armstrong with a time. Waiting to see it come on our screen. 102.60 for Violet Armstrong. Minster's Ava Stahman finishing in second place with a time of 102.98. 103.65 is what we see here for third place. Don't forget, in lane 3, or heat 3, we also had a 103.92. Hopefully we'll be able to bring you all of the results during the 3200. Event number 14, it's the men's 400-meter dash, and this is heat 3 of 4. In lane 1, it's Gavin Litwiller of South Adams. Lane 2, Reed Raderman of Versailles. Lane 3, Carter Dirksen of Minster. Lane 4, Jacob Kelly of New Bremen. Lane 5, DJ Barhorst, Fort Loramie. Lane 6, Jackson Henry of West Liberty. Lane 7, Cale Vinning of Crestview. And Lane 8, Jackson Garcia of South Adams. This is heat 3 of 4 in the men's 400-meter dash. So in the previous heat, heat 2 of 4, Evan O'Leary of Lehman Catholic was your winner. He ran 53.66.
Ninth place, New Knoxville. In 8th place, Crestview with 17. In 7th.
One lap around the track here for these men. And you can see one has gotten quite a lead right there, and that, I believe, is in lane number 5. Lane 5 is DJ Barhorst of Fort Loramie, who comes in with a seed time of 54 seconds. Next to him, Jacob Kelly from New Bremen, a 53.98, who you see working his way down the straightaway to try and catch up. Looking to see who's got the most in these last 100, and it looks like it's gonna stick with Barhorst in lane 5. He wins heat 3 of 4. His time is 52.97. Heat 4 of 4 in the boys' 400-meter dash. In lane 1, Pierce Whitlatch, a recent FCA Huddle Leader of the Year award winner. He's from New Bremen. Lane 2, Tyler Bergman of Minster. Lane 3, Eli Dirksen of Versailles. Lane 4, Victor Holscher of Marion Local. Lane 5, Troy Bradley of West Liberty. Lane 6, Noah Stewart of Spencerville. Lane 7, Mitchell Adams, also of Spencerville. And lane 8, Landon Drees of Fort Loramie. Fastest seat time coming in is a 49.40. That's Victor Holscher of Marion Local. Oh, and there was a move there. I'm thinking it might have been lane 5, possibly Troy Bradley of West Liberty Salem. We will find out, and it is him. He is walking off right now. This is a meet where you only get one chance. A false start does qualify you for a disqualification, unfortunately. So this field is now down to 7 runners. I was mentioning that Victor Holscher comes in with a seed time of 49.40. Well, the record of this Invitational is exactly that, 49.40, set back in 1991 by Crestview's Matt Linden.
On your mark.
And now we have a clean start here, the second time around in the 4th of 4 heats here in the men's 400-meter dash. One lap around the track. Top seed time coming in, as I've already mentioned a few times, is Victor Holscher. That's a name that we have been saying for a few years now in connection with track. Just made a quick look back there, which I've seen a few times here in this meet. Not necessarily something you always want to do, but perhaps he just wanted to know how far ahead he was, because, yep, you can see him there. White jersey, blue shorts, he is definitely ahead. Marion Local's Victor Holscher comes in with a 49.40 seed time, even with what our record is here at this meet, which was set back in 1991. Got a lot of determination on his face as he pushes his way here toward the end. 51 is going to be his time for today. No record breaking, but he does get a first place finish. 51.18 seconds for Holscher from Marion Local. Second place, Versailles Dirksen with a 42.70. And Fort Loramie's Dries finishing in third place, all the way out there in lane 8. Today's Track Invitational is presented by Charles River in Spencerville. Proud to support area athletes and students. Visit criver.com for more information. Heat 3 of 3 in Event 15, the women's 300-meter hurdles. Lane 1, Grace Flutterjohn of Spencerville. Lane 2, Capri Bixler of South Adams. Lane 3, Ariel Heitkamp of Fort Loramie. Lane 4, Grace Moeller of Marion Local. Lane 5, Carly Busher of St. Henry. Lane 6, Miriam Garrett for Sales. Lane 7, Morgan Balmer of St. Henry. And Lane 8, Lydia Garrett of Fort Loramie. 300-meter hurdles. First one over the track, what was lane 3? That's Ariel Heitkamp of Fort Loramie. I've already seen Ariel do quite a few incredible things in this meet so far. And the 300 hurdles, I mean, it's one thing to run fast around the track, which Ariel can do so well, but to be able to clear those hurdles with that extra energy that's needed, looks like she is just cruising over each of those hurdles. 3 more hurdles to go. This is the point where the brain is really having to move into the adrenaline motion of, I can finish this race. 1 hurdle left to go. Sometimes that hurdle looks so very tall to these ladies, but for Ariel Heitkamp, I don't know how it looked to her, but it looked great to us. She wins this race with a time of 46.72 seconds. Second place from St. Henry. 48.81, and that is Carly Busher. And third place from South Adams, it's...
Second call, girls, 800-meter run.
I just missed it, but you can go to finishtiming.com and you can see all of the results from this and all of the other events as well. Today's Track Invitational is presented by Charles River in Spencerville. Charles River in Spencerville, proud to support area athletes and students. Visit criver.com for more information. Event number 16, the men's 300-meter hurdles. This is Heat 4 of 4. Just finishing in Heat 3, your winner in that heat was Jackson Steider of West Liberty with a time of 41.52 seconds. Here we have in this heat, in Lane 1, Isaac Holthouse of Fort Loramie. Lane 2, Max Kanapke of Minster. Lane 3, Elijah Heitkamp of Fort Loramie. Lane 4, Daylin Garrett of Covington. Lane 5, Andrew Pullman of Marion Local. Lane 6, Jay Schroeder, New Knoxville. Lane 7, Taryn Bradley, West Liberty. And Lane 8, Gideon Beasley, Versailles. Fastest time coming in is Daylin Garrett of Covington with a 39.77. First one over the hurdle there looked like Elijah Heitkamp of Fort Loramie, and still looks like he is clearing those hurdles faster than anyone else. Though it's getting close, as Daylin was just about tied with him at that hurdle, coming around here to the final 4 hurdles and getting ready for the straightaway. Looks like we are having a showdown between lanes 3 and 4, and it's Garrett from Covington with a strong, stern look on his face, directing his gaze toward the finish line, cruises over that final hurdle, and he comes away your winner at the Minster Memorial Invitational with a time of 40 seconds flat. Covington's Garrett gets first place. Second place was Heitkamp from Fort Loramie, 40.52. And third place from Versailles, Beasley. Today's Track Invitational is presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, located in Wapak, Delphus, and St. Mary's. Locally owned and operated, Lee's is not just famous for chicken, they're famous for catering too. This is Heat 2 of 2 in the women's 800-meter run. Winning the first heat was Meg Schmiesing with a time of 2:38.18. In this heat, we have Annie Hemmelgarn of Minster Eliza Long of Covington, Sophia Dirksen of Minster, Corinne Goubeau of Versailles, Mia Hirschfeld of New Bremen, Miley Chateau of Fort Loramie, Elena Mesher of St. Henry, Ava Mowry of Houston, Camille Borchers, Fort Loramie, Josie Bruns, Marion Local, Sophie York of Russia, and Isla Leichty of West Liberty. 3 ladies come in with seed times in the 2:22 range. Annie Hemmelgarn, 2:21 for Annie, 2:21.94. Eliza Long comes in with a 2:22.08. And Sophia Dirksen with a 2:22.37. We already saw Eliza Long win the 1,600 meter. And right now I mentioned 3 ladies coming in with 3 top times. And right now we see 3 ladies right there near the front with your Covington runner slightly in the lead. Remember, folks, this is just an 800. It is only 2 times around the track. And we have Covington and Minster at the halfway point. 109 is about the split that we're seeing there for these top ladies who are running. 800 is a tough race, folks. If you were watching the 4x8, and I talked a little bit about it then, I mean, it is just a lot of grit. It is faster, more of a sprint than the 1,600, but it's definitely more contained than a sprint like the 200. It really takes a lot of mental strength to be able to run a race like this. And at this point, these women are about to give everything they have. They are about to move into a sprint mode when you hit that 200 mark. As you can see, it's Covington and it's Minster. Both of these two come in with very similar times. I'm sure they're very familiar with each other. And we're going to see what happens here at the final moments. Right now, it's the Covington runner. Long is slowly pulling away, but we're going to see what Minster's got in this final straightaway, this final 100 here. Trying hard, you can see it pumping from the orange. Pumping the arms is what I mean there from that orange jersey, but it's going to be Eliza Long, the senior from Covington. She wins her 2nd race in this meet, her individual race. She is your winner in the girls 800 meter with a time of 2:22.08. Dirksen from Minster with a time of 2:23.83, and then it's Hemmelgarn from Minster with a time of 2:28.97. Our next event is event 18, the men's 800 meter run. This is heat 2 of 2. In the first heat, Easton Odell of South Adams was the winner in a time of 2:13.94. Here are the runners in this heat. Quentin Rudolph of West Liberty, Marcus Briscoe of Versailles, Will Knapke of Minster, Caden Neuenschwander, South Adams, Sam Bernold, New Bremen, Samuel Philpott, Russia, Zach Heath of St. Henry, Brenton Rodriguez of Crestview, Beck Wilson, Covington, A.J. Boop, Spencerville, Trey Gettemeller, Marion Local, Brian Goulet, West Liberty, Isaac Bruns, Marion Local, and Michael Rindler of St. Henry. The meet record is from back in 2012, Sam Prakel with a time of 1:58.12. If you were watching during the mile, the 1,600 rather, we talked a little bit about Sam Prakel, how he went on to run for Oregon and then became a professional runner, still competing even to this day, still doing a wide variety of different types of runs, trail runs, road runs, track runs, all of those things. Well, this track run is the men's 800, and you can see they just made their way over. They passed that spot where they can get out of their lanes, and they can make their way over into lane 1. And we are just at about a minute mark here, so if they would keep that up, then we'd be close to that record that Sam Prakel had. Our fastest seed time coming in right now is a 2:93 from Quentin Rudolph of West Liberty. Still quite the group of guys, though, running. I think in this next straightaway is when we're going to start to see some things happen. What's happened at the moment is you got Minster taking the lead, but will he keep the lead? Here's the point where the guys start to make their move. This is where they want to make their moves because it's the straightaway. It's the least amount of extra running that they're going to have to do. And you can see out there on the outer end, West Liberty Salem, he's about 4 guys deep. If he does not get himself over, he's going to run extra. It's happening. But it doesn't matter because he's moving into the lead, maybe and maybe not. Look what's happening here. We're in for a race in this final 100. Wow, people are cheering. People are really excited We've got 4 guys barreling their way down to the end. 2:04 is about the time that won it for this. Here are your results. New Bremen's Bernhold wins it with a 2:04.41, 2:04.80 for Rudolph from West Liberty Salmon, and third place went to Neuenschwander with a 2:04.97. Rushi was fourth, and Versailles was fifth. Today's title sponsor of the Minster Memorial Track Invitational broadcast is Wabash Mutual Telephone. Wabash Mutual Telephone, proud supporter of Mercer County Athletics. We are watching event 19, the women's 200-meter dash, and this is heat 3 of 4. In heat 1, Lily Graham was the winner from Lehman Catholic with a time of 29.19. In heat 2, Molly White-Shappy of Versailles was the winner with a time of 28.69. And here now for heat 3. In lane 1, Mary Rindler of New Bremen. Lane 2, Tori Doubtwaite of West Liberty Salem. Lane 3, Chloe Griffith of Lane 3 also of West Liberty Salem. Lane 4, Carrie Heckman of Minster. Lane 5, April Baker of New Bremen. Lane 6, Ava Stahman of Minster. Lane 7, Jenna Hoying of Fort Loramie. And Lane 8, Lena Smith of Spencerville. To give you a little bit of a weather update, it is currently, let's see, well, I'll get you know in just a moment because they are off and running. And that's more important to talk about than the weather. This is a 200, so it's only halfway around the track. The start is such an important part of this 200. Then the execution, and now executing this final part in this straightaway. 2 ladies right there really vying to win this heat, but right now it's lane 3 that's pushing her way to finish first. And she does it. Chloe Griffith of West Liberty finishes first in this heat with a time of 27.56 seconds. In the final heat of the women's 200-meter dash, 8 more ladies will make their way halfway around the track. This is heat 4 of 4 in event number 19. Lane 1, Sam Lauber of St. Henry. Lane 2, Violet Armstrong of Rushi. Lane 3, Emmy Ray, Lehman Catholic. Lane 4, Taylor Schmidtmeyer, Fort Loramie. Lane 5, Autumn Ritter, Houston. Lane 6, Lillian Strayer of Spencerville. Lane 7, Aaliyah Pullman of Marion Local. And Lane 8, Ellie Stallman, Versailles. So the weather right now, no rain, but the wind has picked up. I would say the temperature may have dropped just a slight amount. Still not chilly, not hot. Rather, I would say pleasant for running with the exception of the wind. Where we are, way up on top of the press box, it's quite windy for us. Not as windy down there on the ground, but yet it still is a pretty windy day. Haven't heard anything about wind aided anything. Nothing about that when it comes to the results. 3 runners here. Look at this. Lanes 3, 4, and 5, but it's lane 5 that's striding her way to the finish. What a nice gait she had there as she finished that out. Just kind of propelled her ahead, just the way that she really positioned her body in that running position. And that's Houston's Ritter to win this one in a time of 26:16. Schmidtmeyer from Fort Loramie gets second with 26:38, and Lehman Catholic's Ray finishes in third. Event number 20 is the men's 200-meter dash. In case you are waiting for something coming up, we've got the women's and men's 3,200-meter runs coming up next, and then the 4x400-meter relays for both. In heat 3 of 4, lane 1 is Ryan Sanders of Fort Loramie. Lane 2 is William Patterson of South Adams. Lane 3, Joel Lozier, New Bremen. Lane 4, Evan O'Leary, Lehman Catholic. Lane 5, Tyler Barga, Versailles. Lane 6, Cole Kaiser of St. Henry. Lane 7, Tanner Suchland of New Bremen. And Lane 8, Philip McMacken of Covington. Heat 1, your winner was Cameron Modick with a time of 25:25. Heat 2, the winner was Trenton Hardings with a time of 23:83. Top seed time coming into this particular heat is O'Leary in lane 4 with a 23:47. I there on lane 6. Didn't take long for him to overtake the stagger there next to him. That is Cole Kaiser of St. Henry, continuing to pull himself away from the field, and he's going to win this heat. His time is 23.09. The Spring to Life funding campaign is underway now. Would you donate to our campaign as we aim to reach $50,000 by Mother's Day? All donations stay local. It's an opportunity for you to show your thanks for all of the things that WTLW and WOSN do for this region. For more than 40 years, your local TV stations have been providing family-friendly programming, great local interviews, as well as thousands of features on high school athletes. It is a great opportunity for you to sow into this ministry. 100% of what you give stays throughout the Northwest Ohio region and used for great reasons. Go to axministries.com/donate to make a donation. Heat 4 of 4 in the men's 200-meter dash. In lane 1, it's Chase Bishop of Minster. Lane 2, Troy Bradley of West Liberty. Lane 3, Justin Knopf of Marion Local. Lane 4, Liam Putnam of Crestview. Lane 5, Victor Holscher of Marion Local. Lane 6, Jack Mahan of West Liberty. Lane 7, Zach Zerby of Spencerville. And Lane 8, Connor Gibson of Versailles. Man, take a look at Zach Zerby over there in lane 7, giving Holscher a run for his money, but Holscher's going to run to the finish. He got it in the last, oh my goodness, maybe 30 feet, 20 feet. He got it at the end, 22.52 for Holscher. Zerby comes in second with a 22.60. Bradley from West Liberty Salem is third with a 22.88. Today's Track Invitational is presented by Charles River in Spencerville, proud to support area athletes and students. Visit criver.com for more information. Event 21 is the women's 3,200-meter run. I have 23 women on my heat sheet. I do not see 23 ladies there on the field. I counted 16, but I'm going to read all 23 names for you to know who was entered into this race. Eliza Long of Covington, Maria Niekamp of Minster, Lauren Moore, Fort Loramie, Addie Wolin, West Liberty, Araya Fenning, New Knoxville, Anna Gardner of Crestview, Adeline Watson, South Adams, Kirsten Seeger, Fort Loramie, Lillian Selhorst of Versailles, Isabella Hughes, West Liberty, Riley Suchland of New Bremen, Chloe Schmidt, South Adams, Claire Moeller of St. Henry, Josephine Hoying of Minster, Caitlin Braun of Spencerville, Kara Suchland, New Bremen, Isabel Dirksen of Versailles, Meg Schmiesing of Lehman Catholic, Ellie Heitkamp, Marion Local, Madison Schulte of Russia, Quinn Layfeld of St. Henry, Anna Minichi of Lehman Catholic, and Megan Miller of Spencerville. Our top seed time coming in is Eliza Long of Covington. We've already seen her win 2 events. The next top seed time is Maria Niekamp of Minster. Of course, that orange jersey of Minster right here on the home field. But wherever they go, we are definitely accustomed to seeing Minster runners all around the track doing great things. One lap is just about finished, starting out right around 1:24. I tell you what, I don't think I see Eliza Long there. She does come in with a 1:11.11 seed time, 24 seconds ahead of the second seed. We already saw her win 2 races before, and it's not uncommon for things to change, especially when we get to the 3,200 meter. I mentioned earlier that this Invitational started 45 minutes late because of a rain delay, so there's a lot of factors that can factor into why a runner does or doesn't do the things that she does. We're going to read for you some results here as we are watching this 3,200 meter race. Not in any particular order. We're going to bring you some girls' results in just a moment. A little windy here. Jacob and I are standing up on top of the press box. We've had rain, we've had lightning, we've had thunder, we've had sunshine. At the present moment, we have overcast and quite a bit of wind. So we're having to hold on to all of our information so that it doesn't fly over the edge of the press box and down onto the people below. Here's some results for you. In the women's 200-meter dash, your top 5 finishers. In 5th place, Chloe Griffith of West Liberty Salem. 4th place, Ellie Stammen of Versailles. 3rd place, Emmy Ray of Lehman Catholic. Second place with a time of 26:38, Taylor Schmidtmeyer of Fort Loramie. And your winner from Houston, Autumn Ritter, 26:16. In the women's 800-meter race run, in 5th place, Corinne Goubeau of Versailles. 4th place, Miley Chateau of Fort Loramie. 3rd place, Annie Hemmelgarn of Minster. 2nd place, with a time of 2:23.83, Sophia Dirksen of Minster. And in 1st place, Eliza Long of Covington with a 2:22.08. All right, folks, my papers are flying all over the place. You can't see that because you are watching the track. But it is rather windy up here. We're going to read just a few more results to you, then we're going to go to break, and we will come back before this is done. But here's a few more results. In the women's 300 hurdles, Grace Fletterjohn finished in 5th place. She is from Spencerville. Miriam Garrett from Versailles in 4th. Cabri Vixler from South Adams in 3rd. Carly Busher from St. Henry in 2nd with a time of 48.81. And in 1st place from Fort Loramie, Ariel Heitkamp, 46.72. In the women's long jump, in 5th place from Fort Loramie, Janelle Siegel. 4th place from New Knoxville, Kinley Rutchling. 3rd place from New Bremen, Mary Rindler. 2nd place from Versailles, Ellie Stammen. And your winner from Rushi, jumping 17 feet 1 inch, Hazel Francis. Minster's still in the lead there as they are getting ready to have 5 more laps. Give you one more result, and then we will go to break. In the women's 1,600-meter run, in 5th place, Lauren Moore from Fort Loramie. 4th place, Addie Wolin of West Liberty Salem. 3rd place, Ava Rissmiller of Versailles. 2nd place, Claire Bonham with a 5:29.96. And your winner from Covington, Eliza Long, with a time of 5:13.89. These ladies have 5 laps to go, and we'll be back for the final few laps of the 3,200. 2 laps to go for our leader. That's Maria Niekamp from Minster. She's just got 800 left to run. 9:24 is about where she is right now. And she's got a real sizable lead over the rest of the field. Coming second right now, it's Adeline Watson of South Adams. 3rd place at the moment is Lauren Moore from Fort Loramie, but she is being challenged right now. Up there we've got Addie Wolin of West Liberty, Riley Suchland of New Bremen, and Araya Fenning of New Knoxville round out your top runners. Coming close to the end of this race, Maria Niekamp is lapping a few runners, which is very typical at a invitational in the 3,200. Not uncommon at all, because this is quite the race. If you've ever run this race, you understand it's quite the race. If you haven't run this race, it's probably because you don't want to. Talk to a 100-meter dash runner about running the 3,200, and they will quickly run the other way. 8 laps around the track for the 3,200, and you get a wide variety of runners in the high school season who run this. You've got solid cross-country runners, people like Maria Niekamp, who run cross-country, who run distance and specialize in doing things like that. But then you also get runners that just want to run track and maybe haven't found their niche yet, so the coach puts them in the 3,200, and so that's why you see such a variety of speeds here with these ladies. I just love seeing anybody able to run the 3,200, because being able to run 8 laps around the track is a great thing. One thing that I don't know if it's affecting them at all is the wind. I've mentioned to you that we've had a lot of wind today, and it really picked up within about the last 30 minutes. Wind can help a sprinter, of course, if it's aiding them, and it might affect maybe a 400 runner or 800 runner who has to face it on half of the track. But think about it, the 3,200 is where you have to face that wind the most. It's the race that has the most of an even pace. So I am unsure really how the wind is going to be affecting the times today. We're going to see what Maria's time is as she makes her way around just a little over 200. She's got about 250-ish left to run in this race. Overcast is our skies at the moment, after we had thunder, lightning, rain delay, overcast skies, more rain, sunshine, more wind, and just tepid temperatures with overcast skies is what we have right now. Be interesting to hear what some of these runners would have to say about it. A lot of runners, especially distance runners, will tell you that not the wind, but the little bit cooler temperatures and a little bit of rain actually are pretty good. Sprinters don't always say the same thing, but all in all, great hats off to Minster for sticking it through that rain delay earlier today so that we could continue to get this race in. It's the day before Easter. Certainly hope that by the time you watch this, you will have had a wonderful Easter celebration, celebrating the resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Hey, there she is, Maria Niekamp from Minster, making her way into the finish line, and she is your winner here with a time of 12:38. Got some strong runners here, finish things off. Second place is from West Liberty Salem with a 12:45. I mentioned something about time. Maria came in with 11:35, and she just ran at 12:38. So, as I mentioned, there's been a lot of wind out here, which could have an impact. New Bremen finishes in third place, and Fort Loramie finishes in fourth with the girls' 3,200-meter run. Today's Track Invitational is presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, located in Wapak, Delphus, and St. Mary's. Locally owned and operated, Lee's is not just famous for chicken, they are famous for catering, too. Quick reminder, you can stream the WSN channel anytime, anywhere for only $8 per month. Download from Roku or Apple TV, or sign up at app.wosn.tv. Out-of-town relatives, even when you're traveling, whatever it takes, you'll never miss an event on WSN if you have the WSN app. Event 22, it's the men's 3,200-meter run. I have 25 listed here, but I only see about 22 running. Here's who we have on our list. Jackson Spitzer of Versailles, Caleb Larson, West Liberty, Asher Cole, West Liberty, Ryan Stuckey, Marion Local, Max McKibben, Versailles, Dalton Pullman, Marion Local, Jacob Schmidtmeyer, Russia, Nick Pringer, Minster, Derek Young, Crestview, Tanner Braun, Spencerville, Caleb Wittenbrink, New Bremen, Owen Sargent, Russia, Michael Kunkler, St. Henry, Jackson Corona, Minster, Deacon Beerbaum, South Adams, Ethan Kester, Fort Loramie, Tobiah Wittenbrink, New Bremen, Ryan Mestemaker, St. Henry, Caleb Hembry, Covington, Edison Deaton, Covington, Caleb Thomas, Crestview, Brentley Van Schoik, New Knoxville, Daniel Rupp, South Adams, TJ Paulus, Fort Loramie, and Axton McMichael of Spencerville. Your top time coming in is Jackson Spitzer of Versailles with a 9:37.63. The record at this meet is Bailey McIntyre, who ran a 9:38.49. Second seed time coming in is from West Liberty Salem with a 9:54.53, and that is Caleb Larson. Just about have one lap done here. Right about 105 is what these guys are running, your top runner. Already we're starting to see some separation here. Take a look at that. The first 7 who are your top 7 there, not close. Maybe 1 and 2 are close there. Already a break here in 3, and we have quite a few laps left to go in this race. Weather update for you. The wind continues to be relatively strong. We did see the times for the girls quite a bit slower than what their seat times were, so I am not sure if the wind had a factor in that, but it certainly can have a factor in the 3,200. And let's read some results for you as we now watch these guys make their way around the track. In the men's shot put, here are your top 5 finishers. In 5th place from Minster, Jacob Davis. In 4th place from West Liberty Salem, Mark Baer. 3rd place from Marion Local, Derek Grishop. In 2nd place, throwing 48 feet, 10.5 inches from Marion Local, Kyle Ungren. And your winner in the men's shot put from Minster, Will Frimmel, 50 feet, 6 inches. Jackson Spitzer from Versailles is your current leader right now. Cole Asher from West Liberty Salem is in 2nd place at the moment. And Caleb Larson from West Liberty Salem is currently in 3rd place. I want to give a shout out to Jacob O'Neill, camera operator here. He's doing a great job of keeping me posted on some of those things. You and Jacob have a much closer view of these runners than I do because of our cameras being able to zoom in. I am watching, well, Jacob and I are both watching from the top of the press box. So right now, as those runners are in that back straightaway, they look pretty tiny to me. They're wearing numbers that indicate where their positions are, and that helps us know who is who on the field. But I can't see it as close as you get to see it. So shout out to Jacob for working great and keeping track on who is running and who is in the lead. Speaking of in the lead, these are the people who finished in the top 5 in the men's 1,600-meter run not long ago. 5th place was Nick Prenger of Minster. 2nd place was Dylan King of West Liberty Salem. 3rd place was Samuel Philpott of Russia. 2nd place, with a time of 4:32.77, was Asher Knox of West Liberty Salem. And your winner, running 4:31.63 from Versailles, his teammate, Tony Mormon. Why did I say his teammate? Because Jackson Spitzer of Versailles is your current leader here in the men's 3,200, and we still have 2 West Liberty Salem runners in the background for 2nd and 3rd place. We're going to read a couple more results for you. Here we go, another field event result for you. Now, a reminder, you can go to finishtiming.com and you can see all of the results. There's really no spoiler here because the event happened several days ago. By the time you're watching this, you can see all the results. But if you want to wait and you want to know who wins, then watch this race before you go for all the results. Men's pole vault is already finished. Here are your 5 winners. From Versailles, 5th place, Cade Schwartz. In 4th place, from New Bremen, Trevor Top. In 3rd place, from West Liberty Salem, Craig Stanford. In 2nd place, from Minster, 13 feet 6 inches, Charlie Winner. And your winner in the men's pole vault from Marion Local, jumping 14 feet 14 inches, Derek Oddie. Versailles still has the lead as we have 4 laps to go. Hold on. We'll be right back with 2 laps left. 2 laps to go, and we have a new leader. Caleb Larson of West Liberty took the lead just about a lap ago. With 3 laps to go, he passed Jackson Spitzer of Versailles. Still in 3rd place is Asher Cole of West Liberty. This is the 3,200-meter run for the men. What we have left is the 4x4, both women and men, after this takes place. Wind is picking up here, and it's starting to feel a bit cooler. The forecast says we could have a little bit more rain coming in the next 20 to 30 minutes. As I've said a few times in this broadcast, we had to start late because of thunderstorms. The running events were supposed to start at 10. They did not start until 10:45 this morning. We've had a variety of weather changes today, and we had another one just a little while ago. Cooler temperatures, wind picking up, possibly some more rain coming in. Look at this. Guys have a little bit over about 500 meters left to run, and Caleb Larson is holding on to that lead, but it's going to be interesting to see what Jackson Spitzer has in this final lap to go. He's already, looks like he's thinking about going on the little bit of that outside. Here comes the bell. They're at 8:32, 8:33 right now. Still in 3rd place, but quite a bit further behind is Asher Cole, a freshman from West Liberty Salem. Well, I mentioned that Jackson of Versailles looked like he was about to make a move, but Caleb Larson was about to make a move as well, passing 3 of the runners that they are lapping at the moment. Caleb Larson of West Liberty is using that straightaway, pushing against the wind. Don't really see the guys putting their heads down too much. That indicates the wind is not all that terrible for them, but this is it, the final 200. Noticing now that Jackson's stride is opening up a bit. A longer stride as he is attempting to sprint down against Caleb Larson. Caleb Larson, though, just really strong. Take a look at the way he's pumping his arms. His body is very solid. His knees are rising up, and he is confidently moving toward that finish line. West Liberty Salem's Caleb Larson. He's going to win the 3,200-meter run with a time of 9:44-ish. We'll get that result in a moment. Versailles, Jackson Spitzer will finish in 2nd. 9:44.39. That's a 10-second time drop from what his seed time was. And a 9:45.70 for Versailles, finishing in 2nd place. Here comes your 3rd place runner, also from West Liberty Salem. It's Asher Cole. sponsor of the Minster Memorial Track Invitational broadcast is Wabash Mutual Telephone, proud supporter of Mercer County Athletics. Time now for Heat 2 of 2 in the women's 4x400 meter relay. It's the last event in the women's part of the Invitational. And leading into this final event, here is where we stand in the standings. Your top 10. 10th place right now with 27 points, Marion Local. Russia is in 9th with 28. New Knoxville 8th with 32. Spencerville 7th with 35. St. Henry is 6th with 45.5. West Liberty Salem is 5th with 47. Houston in 4th, 54 points. Versailles in 3rd with 62 points. Minster is in 2nd with 92 points. And your leader with one race to go is Fort Loramie with 123.5 points. Here are your teams that are running in Heat 2 of 2. By the way, in Heat 1, the winner of Heat 1 was Lehman Catholic. They ran a time of 4:25.07. Lane 1 is West Liberty, leading off with Ariana Weaver. Lane 2, Russia, Mackenzie Rose. Lane 3, Minster, Sophia Dirksen. Lane 4, New Bremen, April Baker. Lane 5, Fort Loramie, Harley Eilerman. Lane 6, Spencerville, Audra McMichael. Lane 7, Versailles, Katie Litton. And Lane 8, St. Henry, leading off with Riley Busher. Temperature app in my phone still says we're in the upper 60s right now, but the wind has significantly picked up and it is feeling cooler. I even noticed that with the ladies when they were waiting to start. It looked like they were also feeling a little bit chilled down there on the track grounds.
On your mark.
Sorry, folks, this is taking a little bit longer than we thought for the start here. They definitely always want to wait for everybody to be still, get things going, and it is going now. Again, this is who we have in these lanes. West Liberty is in lane 1. Russia is in 2. Minster is in lane 3. New Bremen in 4. Fort Loramie is in lane 5. Spencerville is in lane 6. Versailles in 7, and St. Henry is in lane 8. These first ladies will stay in their lanes for the entire 400. They will stay staggered for that entire 400, but someone who is making up the stagger, that's freshman Sophia Dirksen of Minster. Take a look at her, head held high, running strong, using that baton to help propel her past. She is made up a lot of ground here, and she is in lane 3. Top seed time coming in, actually, though, is lane 4 with New Bremen, 4:02.73. They are quite a bit further back at this moment. Minster takes off in the lead. They've passed off to Annie Hemmelgarn. She will be the second runner right now. Can't see it quite yet, but once she makes her way around and gets to those tiny little orange cones, then all of the runners have an opportunity to move over into lane 1, and Minster is the first one to do that. 3 more ladies making their way over into lane 1. Feeling possibly just a little bit of moisture in the air. The forecast did call for a 30 to 40% chance of more rain today. We've had a little bit of everything today. Thunder, lightning, wind, glimpses of sunshine. I'm currently in 4 layers. I've been in 1 layer. We've been back to 3 layers. Of course, the people down on the track are just in their uniforms. Some of them jumping around because it's a little chilly as there as well. Minster still with the lead. Looks sizable-ish. That's what I'm going to say. It's sizable-ish because in the 4x4, anything can change at any moment. Minster, Spencerville in second place right now. Lena Smith, second runner. Clara Goki is the third runner for Spencerville, now in third place at this moment. Like I said, the 4x4, every single exchange can create something different, but nothing different yet for Minster. Every exchange for them has simply increased their lead. Emmy Hemmelgarn, she was the second runner. Joanna Top, the third runner. Just some solid strength, of course, from Minster. Fort Loramie also has shown such incredible strength as I told you with the numbers, Fort Loramie coming in here to this final part with a 31-ish point lead over Minster here in this final race. .305, 306, 307. That's where we are in the time right now. 308, 309 as Claire Bowman gets the baton and takes off. Look at Spencerville's Grace Fletterjohn also taking off with a flurry. .406.9 is the record set by Minster back in 2016. So Minster has held the lead from the entire time, and they are getting close to being challenged for the first time in this entire race. Minster still ahead, but take a look at the Bearcat runner chasing her down here. But not going to be enough. Spencerville will finish in second place. Minster will finish in first. 4:12.89 for Minster in first place. 4:15.93 for Spencerville in second place. And Versailles finishes in third with 4:19.50. Event 24, the men's 4x400 meter relay heat 2 of 2. This is our final race of the Invitational. Heat 1 just finished. Lehman Catholic was the winner of that heat with a 3:40.40. Going into this final heat, here are the standings for the boys. In fifth place, Covington with 41 points. Fourth place, Minster, 59 points. Third place, Versailles, 91 points. Second place, Marion Local, 103 points. And your current leader, West Liberty Salem, 109.5 points. 6.5 points separates first and second place. Will things change in this race or not? We will soon find out. Here are the teams in Heat 2 of 2. Lane 1 is South Adams. Lane 2, Versailles. Lane 3, Minster. Lane 4, Marion Local. Lane 5, Fort Loramie. Lane 6, New Bremen. Lane 7, Spencerville. And Lane 8, West Liberty Salem.
On your mark. Set.
Here are the runners that we have in the first leg of this race. In lane 1, it's Caden Neuschwander for South Adams. Lane 2 is Eli Dirksen of Versailles. Lane 3 is Tyler Bergman of Minster. Lane 4 is Marion Local. We do not have runners' names for Marion Local, but they are in lane 4. Lane 5, Max Maurer of Fort Loramie. Lane 6, Sam Bernhold of New Bremen. Lane 7, Noah Stewart of Spencerville. And lane 8, Quentin Rudolph of West Liberty Salem. These guys will all stay in their lanes for this first heat. They'll stay in their staggers, and they will pass, they'll hand off in the staggers as well. Plan on Marion Local and Fort Loramie to be in quite the battle. They come in with the closest seed time right now. Marion Local with a 3:31.75 seed time. Fort Loramie with a 3:32.19. But it looks like it actually was lane 2 Versailles that handed off first. Guys will stay in their lanes just until they get around this second bend. Once you see those tiny orange cones, once they pass there, they each have an opportunity to move their way over into that first lane. Well, Marion Local doing their thing right now. They have moved into the lead. Didn't matter where they were in the handoff. That's where they are at the moment. Marion Local currently in first place. West Liberty Salem came over there from lane 8 in second place. We've seen these guys battle the entire day. West Liberty Salem knowing what it means for them to be able to keep that lead and what's necessary. Marion Local knowing what they need to do to have a chance to win this race. Increasing the lead is that flyer runner, passing off to the third runner there. You've got Marion Local first. West Liberty Salem is second. And a conglomerate, 3 guys battling it out right there for third, fourth, and fifth place. Very close. Watch and see what happens on the straightaway. Well, Marion Local is going to attempt to just increase their lead, obviously. West Liberty Salem also going to try to increase, but already seeing some changes. That straightaway is the place where action happens in the 400. That's where they stretch out, move their legs, get as big of a stride as they possibly can, and then get ready to punch it in for that final 200. This is the third runner. Marion Local still with the lead. West Liberty Salem still with second place. New Bremen now pushing ahead, moving into the second place spot. And here we go with the anchors. Marion Local is first. New Bremen is second. West Liberty Salem is in third, trying to pass there on the outside. You think these guys got together ahead of time and said, hey, we're in the lead right now. We're winning. If we get too far down in this race and Marion Local wins, we aren't going to win. Wonder what they were thinking and planning as they got ready for this final event. Final 200, here it is. This is the point where these guys are going to give everything that they possibly have. Can the Marion Local runner hold on? Look what's happening with every single person behind them. They are all battling for this win. West Liberty 7 has taken the lead. New Bremen is now stepping in and moving in. Marion Local has moved into fourth place. And there you go, folks. That's the end of the race, and that calls the meet as well. West Liberty Salem finishes in first place with a time of 3:32.49. Second place is Fort Loramie with a 3:33.26. And New Bremen is third with 3:33.29. Quick wrap up here as we take a look at the final results. In the women, your top 5 finishers. St. Henry was in 5th place with a 47.50. Houston, 4th, 54 points. 3rd place, Versailles, 68. Minster is finished in 2nd place with a 102. And your champion at the Minster Memorial Invitational in the women's side is Fort Loramie with a points of 128.50 points. As we wrap this up here, we do not have the final results yet for the men. They haven't officially finished. Oh, they have just now. It's just come in. So here you go. These are your top 5 finishers for the men. In 5th place, Fort Loramie with 43 points. 4th place, Minster, 62 points. 3rd place, Versailles with 95 points. 2nd place, Marion Local, 108 points. And your men's champion at the Minster Memorial High School Invitational, West Liberty Salem with 119.5 points. One more time, we just want to say thank you to our sponsors, Wabash Mutual Telephone, Charles River in Spencerville, and Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Don't forget, the Spring to Life funding campaign is also underway. Donate to TV44 and WSN as a way to say thank you for all that this station does for this community. Go to axministries.com or call 419-339-4444. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us at the Minster Memorial High School Invitational. For Jacob O'Neill and myself, I'm Jennifer Beck. Thanks for watching this track and field event right here on WOSN.